Josh Hill, and I'm going to tell this story, The Three Little Wolves and the Big Bad Pig. Once upon a time, there were three little wolves who lived with their mother. And one day their mother said, "It's time for you to go into the woods and build a house for your own. But beware of the big bad pig." "Don't worry, Mommy, we'll look out for him," they said. Then they saw a kangaroo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of bricks. So they got them and they built themselves a house of bricks. The very next day, Big Bad Pig came prowling down the road. And when the little wolves saw him, they ran inside the house and shut the door and locked it. The pig knocked on the door and said, little wolves, let me come in." "Not by the hair of my teeny tins. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." So he huffed, and he puffed, but the house did not fall down. But that big bad pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He went and fetched a sledgehammer and knocked the house down. The three little wolves barely managed to escape with their tinny tin tins trembling. "We need to build an even stronger house," they said. Then they saw a rhino carrying some armor plates, barbed wire, and heavy metal padlocks. So they got them and they built themselves a house of armor plates, barbed wire, and heavy metal padlocks. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road, and when the little wolves saw him, they ran inside their house, bolted the door, and locked all 37 padlocks. The pig dialed the video entrance phone and said, little wolves, let me come in. "Not by the hair of my teeny tins. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." So he huffed, and he puffed, and he huffed, but the house did not fall down. But that big bad pig wasn't called big and bad for nothing. He had brought some dynamite, laid it against the house, lit the fuse, and boom! Blew the house up. The three little wolves barely managed to escape with their scorched tails tucked between their legs. "Something must be wrong with our building materials," they said. "But what?" Then they saw a flamingo who was pushing a wheelbarrow full of flowers. So they got them and they built themselves a house of flowers. The very next day, the big bad pig came prowling down the road. And when the little wolves saw him, they ran inside their house and shut the door. The pig rang the blue bell by the door and said, little wolves, let me come in. "Not by the hair of my teeny tins. Then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house down." But just as he got ready to huff and puff, he caught the soft scent of the flowers, and it was fantastic. Instead of huffing and puffing, he began to sniff. He sniffed deeper and deeper, and until his heart grew tender, and he realized how horrible he had been. And then he decided to be a big good pig. And he was so happy he began to dance the tarantella. The wolves realized that he had changed, and they invited him into their house where they all lived happily ever after.